Morning, YouTubers. Welcome back to the channel. I wasn't going to do actually a video today, but then I thought, well, fuck. You know what? I haven't done a video in a while. I've been kind of preoccupied with all sorts of other shit. So I figured I'd bring you along to what I am doing today. We have my truck, Max, the pig, in the shop today. I put it in here. It's a little on the long side, so I had it pressed up against there, and I had it on those wheel dollies. But me and my fat ass can't fit between that ball bar and that external tank and still be able to work on all the air stuff. So I decided to push it back a little bit, and it's supposed to wheel back on those dollies. It fell off, and I smashed out the taillight. But, oh well, they're abundant. So today, what I'm working on is the air system here. So what I was going to do is change some fittings that come off the check valve, goes down and then goes into the one hose that goes down for the back tank. And then I found my other one for my air horn right there, which goes underneath the air box, which is down there. And it's pointed down in front of my tires. So I'm doing the temporary permanent fix repair. So I'm taking these lines out now that I know that the system will basically pressurize up and do everything else. So I've got some braided lines that I'm going to put on for that, but they're too long, so I got to get them shorter ones. I got some 4-foot ones, though it's about 30 inches, and I got the wrong ones. Anyway, so I was going to redo the fittings for that, so I went out to Home Depot and picked up some fittings. So this is basically where I was at, and then I had a brainwave. So I'll get to that in a second. So this is an Arduino pressure gauge. It runs on 3 wires. Positive, ground, and signal, and it goes to this switch, which is good to, I think they said 150 psi. So I was going to put that where this fitting is, which goes down to the rear tank, and then I was going to put this one as the rear tank using one of these guys, and then use the front air horn with that guy, and that comes off the check valve, and that goes back to the gauge. And then I'll have, instead of this monstrosity, like I said, permanent temporary fix, as the kick-on for the compressor, I was going to get a new one, similar to this, that kicks out at a 120 and kicks on at 90 psi. But then I'm thinking, well, that's an awful lot of shit hanging off of that itty-bitty fitting up at the check valve. So then I thought, well, hell, I will go and check on a manifold. Then, yeah, that would be a great idea, but I can't mount it to the firewall. So then I'm now at, fuck it, I'll make my own. So 1-inch bar, I have now got, well, where the hell did it go? Yeah, a tap and die fitting, and depending on how far I go in, it will fit one of these guys. So we're just going to go and make my own. So that's where I'm at right now with that project. Now, on the other project that I have going, I have my wiring. I'll put a picture of what this shit looked like before. So I am trying to reduce the amount of shit that was in this back seat. So we know that there was a power bar, inverter, and a whole whack of other Arduino gizmo gadget shit on the other side of this, and it was a pain in the ass when that seat was leaned back a little bit. This door is too fucking forward, and then I have to move this, walk around to the other side, do that one, and then flip it up, and just a pain in the ass. So now I'm doing it on this side. So this is kind of the designing stage. So what we have is a fuse box made by a 3D printer. So we have my accessory battery, and then we'll have main battery and ignition. So on those 3 posts, we'll have 3 different ones. That fits down kind of like that so far. And then in this box, we have the Arduino, and its 5-volt power supplies will sit there. And below that, we have the 16 relays, and then a spacer for all the wires to come up and through. So that's what we're at, that one. And then color coded, we're going to get old fancy schmancy now here. So we've got ground, we've got, well, at the moment, main, and then we've got accessory, and then we've got ignition. I'm thinking I'm going to change main. Well, actually, on the printer now, as of this video, I am printing off a blue version to this. So main will be blue, accessory will be red, ignition will be yellow. And then somehow, some way, since I can't do dual color on print, I have to paint this to match it so I can distinguish color, you know, all fancy schmancy. And then underneath this, we are going to go color-coded wire. So instead of lifting this up all the time, I'll know which wires are not being used. So again, it will be color-coded to what that is, and then I'll have like 2 gauge cables coming over to here to these 3 pots. That is for, I call it the flux capacitor, but it is for the signal lights up on my cab. The 2 outer ones actually are signal lights, and that is a power tamer that is set to shut off, I think, after 2 hours, and that's for the amateur radio, which now sits right there. Monitors in place, and then I've got a whack of these relays. They're a single shot relay that run on this remote that will also be stuffed in here somewhere, running various things here. And the reason why they're single shots and not like that other one is I was thinking that I could put these where I need them to be. So in the case of the winch, instead of using the remote for it and having so many remotes in the truck, like this guy, so that's a 2-button shot on the thing, and I have 2 remotes like this. So I'll leave that one in there. I'll probably end up dropping maybe 2 of these relays in place because they've got 3 points to them. Drop 2 of these relays in, occupy 2 of these buttons, vice versa, so it's in the winch all the time and it's on that. And then I'll have one for the pump, I'll have one for the lights, one there and there, and then some for the strobes, which are, well, like these guys. I don't have all the other ones. Like when I redid the truck, there's another one there, and there's 2 more at the bumper, and 2 more or 4 more up front, and yada yada yada. So yeah, and then there's the braided line that I was going to use, but that's where we're at. And then in here, we're going to redo those cables so I can just pull this out instead of using a wrench all the time. And we'll go from there, and I'll put a booster one, an Anderson plug, somewhere up in this area, so when I open up the door, I can do in there. I've got one out back, and I've got one up front. So, and those ones are mainly for the winch. So I've got one here and another one that looks like that out back. So yeah, that's where we're at with all this right now. Yeah, I just had a little brain fart and just, yeah, maybe I'll just do a little bit of an update on the Queen Anne here. It won't, I can't run the thing right now. I've got to wait for, or I actually have to order some new parts, and I got to tear this thing apart. One part that I'm going to order is a body lift kit, because I want to redo the exhaust on this thing, and where I want to run it, I got to lift the body, so, or lift the box. And in order to do that, I got to lift the cab and everything else. So I'm looking into either building my own kit, or seeing if there's a cheap enough kit out there that warrants being able to do this. If not, then I'll just deal away with it. Project number 2 on this thing, for maintenance wise, I have to replace the rear fucking main seal again. I changed the engine in this thing a while back, and it didn't look like it was leaking at that point. So I shoved the engine in. And, well, it's come back to bite me in the ass. Because it is well lubricated underneath this truck. And project number 3 is... oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah, repainting it. So, again, I'm looking into actual paint, not rattle can. Because it is flaking in certain spots. Like, I didn't prep this thing when I did it, and then I've got rocker guard from there down. So I didn't prep it or anything like that. I just sprayed it on. I kind of roughed it out, and yeah, that's come back to bite me in a little bit too, in certain spots. It's not so bad up here, but back there it's a little worse. So I'm actually thinking of going maybe actual automotive paint, and seeing what the price of it would be to spray paint this truck the way it would. So I'm thinking the line there will be what I've got on my car outside. It's a celestial blue from Mazda. So I'm thinking that line there will be that sparkly blue, and that will be onyx. And to honor my fallen comrade back in his day, when I traded this truck in for my car, I'm thinking of going silver across back here, doing this thing here away, and carrying this line all the way to the back, and then having a little bit of a what the hell they call it, silver metallic from Malibu, a little spritz of that, and then maybe a little bit more on there as a red to honor his one of his older trucks. So it'll be a homage to the multiple trucks that I've had and he's had and everything else. So it's kind of what I want to do. We had, I'll have to find a picture of it, but it was a 1989 Chevy 1500 heavy half, odd fucking thing I've ever heard of, long box extended cab, just a ginormous truck. And we painted it pretty much the same color code as this, and we did the red line down the side instead of the blue. So we had two kind of matching trucks. Mine was blue, his was red. That's his favorite color. My favorite color was blue. So I painted them up basically the same way, and he loved it. So I'm going to pay a little tribute to him. I'm going to put red on this one. And well, his last truck that he owned was a brown, but I don't know what the color was. And it was a little, it looked like runny baby chicken brown, and a kind of a coppery color, and I don't like it. So I'll do what I had to give away, which would have been the silver Malibu. I'll do that on the tailgate, and then make this truck look a little bit different. Change it up a little bit. So yeah, I'm done yammering for now. I'll catch you when I get a little closer to getting this damn manifold on the firewall. So check it later. So update time. Not much on the truck for at the moment, but this is what we've got with the manifold. So we've got tab here to bolt on, tab there to bolt it on. I've sealed up the either end of the 1-inch tube. I haven't pressure tested it yet. That's kind of what I'm working on right now. But I need to go out to Newfie Speed and Sport and pick up some more fittings. I gotta get another plug. This one doesn't, I don't like the way that one sits. So I'm going to do, much like what this one is, it's got one of these fittings, fitting like this on it. So I'm going to put a plug at the end of that. So that's going to go here and then just go up. This one's going to be for my new gauge. So it's going to go from the manifold down and over through this hose. go up into here, tee off, and then go to that fitting, which used to be the old pump, so I can use maybe some air tools. That goes on the other side of this, but I need a 90, another union, and then plug that into it. And then I got to take this side and go from there, hose, and then to the other one, which comes into this fitting. This fitting goes to the air horn. This fitting goes to the rear pump. This one will be the pressure switch to turn the compressor on and off, and that's the air let in. And this one is the Arduino. So I still got to go and get some fittings, so I'm basically gonna call it for right now. I'm gonna go out and get the fittings, come back, put that together, see if all that shit fits on there, and then I'll probably end up calling it for today. So I'll give a snippet just before I call it quits today, and hopefully I can get that thing on the firewall and see what it looks like, and then maybe paint it. I don't know, maybe. Okie dokie. Update time. So I got it all plumbed up, ready and stuffed into who. I got all my fittings, and so now I'm doing a pressure test on it. So I welded up the end on this one, and I welded up the end on the other end, and literally that is the only two places that is fucking leaking, except for this fitting here, which I really don't care about because that's just stuffed in there, and it's going to be a pressure switch later. But yeah, literally the only two places, of course, it would have to be is this end and the other end where I had to cap it over. So I got to take all this off again and unplug it and stuff all the shit back in. So what we've got is, comes out of the check valve, goes around through this braided line into the bottom, comes up, and then feeds the Arduino pressure switch for the gauge I'm going to put on the dash, the AC clutch switch, what is that one? That one goes to this gauge, which is now also going to tee off and do this piece, which is essentially the hose that it's attached to. Yeah. This is coming from my compressor right there. So this, since I didn't have a fitting to put on the other end of this hose, I just stuffed it on. So yeah, it leaks right here, and this is where this is going to go. So when it's all said and done, this will go back on, and this goes back up into this hole, so it'll sit up like so. And the end one here, this one goes to my horn down on the fender, and the far one we can't really see well. That one goes to the rear tank, goes down underneath the frame, and then fucks off all the way to the back. So this manifold works pretty good, and then I've got one extra tit left, so I put 6 holes in this thing, and I got one left over in case I wanted to put another sensor, extra valve here. I may change this later on and put it remote somewhere on the front of the truck, so I don't have to lift the hood to like air up a tire or something like that. And I think I'm going to run one off the back tank near the taillight that's severely smashed into that wall right now. Somewhere in that neighborhood. I might do it, I don't know. Right now I just got the one here, and I think one at the tank, and that's it. So I got to reach over the box and then plug it into it, which is fine in itself, but it might be a pain in the ass if I have to air up the camper tires. I don't know how many CFM this is going to put out, so I don't know if air tools are going to work, but I'm assuming like small air nailers and shit like that would probably work. But yeah, all this, and I still got to take all that off and then plug it in. But at least the theory is there. It is working. I just got to zip the fucking ends up a little bit more, and then we're good to go. So yeah, that's it for today. I gotta pull that apart, and I'll probably end up calling it for now. God damn lights, yeah. I'll probably end up calling it for today. Back is rather sore. I'll pull that off, get it buzzed into place, and then maybe tomorrow I'll put it back on. And then I gotta do the fuse box for the back seat. I gotta put all the itty bitty wires into it, solder them up. I got some crazy glue to stick on the connectors. So yeah, that's a bit of progress today. Day 2 of the air manifold debacle. So yesterday I was trying to seal it up. That turned out to be a fruitful process the way I had done it. Just couldn't get the damn thing to seal. I've got a flex core welder, and it just doesn't want to seal. So today, using the same welder, I had to lop the ends off and add some thicker angle iron onto it, and then go up and over and then weld it all up. So now it's sealed. But then I still get like the odd pinhole. So spray gasket to the rescue. Sprayed a whack of this crap inside, and it is sticky as all hell. Just putting it in through the neck there, and then having it trail down, then filling it up to about this fitting, and then just letting it sit there, and then giving it the compressor air from my other tank, and then having it fill up the one little pinhole or whatever that I can't get at on either end. Like this, I think there's 2 or 3 pinholes here, and there's one on this side that couldn't weld it up. So I just put the high tack stuff in there, hit the compressor, and now it's perfectly sealed up. So yeah, I've blocked off all the holes, taken them all out, and yeah, it's all sealed up and ready to go. So my other thing printed off last night. So now this is what it used to look like. So power would come in on this point, but I didn't have enough space there. Originally it was supposed to be like that and have the main cable come in on this one and have another main cable coming on this one, and then I was just going to run my wires off of it. But now I've decided to do this now. So now I've split them apart a little further, as you can kind of see. So this was like 40 some odd millimeters. This is like 55. But now I can put a fuse in between it. So now the main cable comes in, it's fused, and then I put all my stuff on this side. So I'm going to put this one as a lower stud and have this one as a higher stud. And then it will go over to my fuse panel, and that will go over to here. And then it all fit in this small little shit hole here. So I've got the red one now printing on the printer, and I'll do the yellow one later on. So there's my other ones. So I'll do the yellow and a new red and put them in, and then start wiring this bastard up again, because I have some wiring to delete out of this truck. I'm going to take it now, I'm going to go under and over and then back up into that box and not have it run through my channel for my molding. That's what it is. My floor channel molding goes up and over. It just lifts the freaking floor. It's just so much. And then I will look at getting the proper size for that. It's either that or I go over and then that way. But that's for Christmas holidays. Yeah, I think that's it for today. So I'm going to sign off and edit this video and put it up there for you guys to enjoy. I'm just going to drill the holes for that and call it a day. I got other things to do, so check you later.